All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Speak to the Beak. I am Tim the Ferds. I'm joined by Keith Hernandez. We're here for another baseball pod. We're recording right in the middle of Sunday Night Baseball. Me and Keith got to hang out a little bit today in person, which was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually threw him like a 60-yard touchdown. I know, not relevant to what
There's
we're here for, but just got to throw it in there. So, Keith, how you doing?
I'm great. I had a great day throwing the football around with you, so can't wait to talk some baseball now.
It was pretty good, and we get to talk some baseball is right. Actually, this morning, one of our friends, shout out Alex West right here, was like, yeah, you guys just want to like spontaneously go to the Met game today? And Joe goes, yeah, if you want to fly to Tampa, sure. Like, so that's kind of how our day started this morning. But we got some good topics for you guys, right? Albert Pujols is now on a team. A couple of Seattle Mariners prospects made their debuts. Yeah, one of them is unfortunate for Met fans. And a couple other things. Fantasy Nuggets, obviously, our Beat the Streak little segment, which was pretty popular last week. So that's kind of what we got going on. But before we start, we're going to need you to go to beakbrands.com. Check out the website. Written content, podcasts, articles, etc., etc. That's where you can find my waiver wire column if you are into that, which a lot of people on Twitter apparently are into that, so good job, Fantasy Twitter over there. Number 2, follow Beak Brands on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Once again, you can see our content there, and that's where you can interact with me and Keith. I know we discussed this last week. Keith has different handles for everything, but generally, Keith Hernandez, 2 Z's on the IG there. I'm at Tim Ferdinand. Number 3 is if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We've slowed down on the subscribers. It's very unfortunate. Subscribe to the channel. Share with your friends. And if you're a Spotify or an Apple person, rate, review, follow, subscribe. You know the deal. All right, help us out. And like me and Keith have said numerous times, we take requests. So like I said, if we ignore your team and you would like us to stop ignoring your team, just let us know. We'll get you in here. So, Keith, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
I was born ready. Let's do this thing. So, I guess we'll start with the Hall of Famer, because even though we have some young gun topics here, I guess we'll give Albert Pujols some respect. Released by the Angels before last week's podcast. We kind of trolled him, thinking no one would pick him up. Or if they did, it would be like, you know, some random team like the Rays or the A's that, like, do weird stuff. Turns out it's the Dodgers, because apparently they need a 40-something-year-old pinch hitter who can't run or play defense anymore. So which one was more confusing? The Dodgers signing Albert Pujols or Pujols signing with the Dodgers?
I would say Pujols signing with the Dodgers just because it was, like, weird. I guess the Dodgers... I read that the Dodgers actually needed some, right-handed bench help because apparently the right-handed bench players have been awful this year. And Pujols is still fairly productive. He's actually above league average against lefties since 2018. Even this year, he's been above league average. I think his OPS against lefties is like 860 or something like that, which is still pretty decent. I saw a ridiculous stat on Twitter. It was like since the start of 2019, like weighted runs created plus for Pujols against lefties was 106, and weighted runs created plus for Mookie Betts against lefties was 102. So
good stat. I didn't know that. Yeah. Look at that.
So for people who don't know, like weighted runs created plus, like the average, like league average is 100. So both of them are like very slightly above league average, but it's still weird that like Pujols is a better hitter against lefties than Betts has been since 2019. Barely. It's like very marginal. But still,
yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, Keith spends a lot of time on Twitter over there, so you find some good stuff.
It's random MLB stats. I think this guy's name is on
I'll have to follow
on Twitter
that too. Along with
it's a huge shout out right there. He's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt he's like Meek Phil, but he should be pretty good.
Meek Phil. I love Meek
He's gonna get like an influx of followers one day and be like, "Why are all these people following me?" That's because we name drop him on here all the time. Also, that error account you told me to follow is hilarious.
Oh, it's amazing.
E3.
It's amazing.
E6. Who was it? Matten on Philly, right? That's who he plays
Oh,
for.
he was terrible. Yeah.
He had all the eye black on,
right?
and the account was like, yeah, eye error for too much eye black. The next day he made 2 more errors, and they just commented like, no eye black, but still can't field. 2 more errors. I'm just like, yeah, these guys, whoever runs this account is savage too. But back to Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
I thought it was more surprising for the Dodgers because, like, what are you gonna do with this guy? I thought like Pujols was a shoo-in for an American League team, like, you know, DH, pinch hit. Like, what are they gonna do with him? He's not gonna play.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense for Pujols too, just because he doesn't have to move. He's already in Los Angeles.
Yeah, he's already there.
He's already there. He's just gonna drive an extra 20 minutes to get to the stadium. It doesn't really matter.
I was watching MLB Network before, and they were saying how, like, with Seager hurt, they're gonna like slide everyone over a spot, and Muncie's gonna play second, and Pujols might be first. I'm like, you have like 45 top prospects. None of them can stand at first base and catch the ball. Like,
I think if they end up starting him every day instead of just using him as a right-handed bat against lefty pitchers, he's gonna be designated for assignment by like the end of June. Like, he's gonna hit like 160 and be like, I can't take this anymore, and they're gonna cut him again.
I just love how you're so fast to DFA everyone. Like, a couple weeks ago, you were like, the Yankees are gonna DFA Corey Kluber, and then he's been good since then. So maybe that's like the reverse Keith curse. Maybe Pujols will bat like 300 until Cody Bellinger comes back or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, listen, I hope he does, because he has to boost his average back to 300, because it's like a shame that it's below 300 now.
I would love for him to just randomly just hitting like 450 over like 2 months.
Get like scorching hot for like 2 months and bat like well over 400, and it's like prime Albert Pujols came back to play.
Yeah, I'm sure someone has the numbers on how many hits it would take for him to get back to 300.
Oh, 100%.
I think his WAR dipped under 100 too. His like total career WAR.
Career WAR. Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of sad.
It is kind of sad, even though I hate that stat. But yeah. So listen, for me, I think the Pujols thing overall is just joining the Dodgers to bring Chase, because I don't understand why else you would go there. Aside from, I guess you live there already and you're making $30 million to do nothing. So, but he's got what, 2 rings, right? Or 3?
2.
Is it 2? I think it's 2.
2006 and the last 2011. The last year he was there.
Yeah.
So it makes sense if he wants to try to win another ring. I mean, Dodgers would make the playoffs. They would be the last wild card team, barely.
Yeah, but they're gonna get in.
They're gonna get in.
Yeah.
Because the wheels on the San Francisco train will, or trolley, I should say, because they have a little trolley going to San Francisco.
There you go,
wheels on that trolley will fall off eventually. I mean, their pitching's been great, but still, I mean, how are you going to compete in that division?
No, like I said, eventually they're going to fall off. But let's get to some young guys here. Jarred Kelenic, which apparently his name is pronounced Kelenik. Like, okay, I didn't know that. I was like, all right. I've never heard anyone call him that until like 2 days ago. So I guess now that he's in the big leagues, we have to pronounce his name right. So, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Jarred Kelenic.
That worked.
Made his debut for the Mariners. The first day was nice for Mets fans. He didn't do much. And then he went out here in the second day and had like 3 extra base hits, including a home run. He also happens to wear number 10. If you know me at all, you know anyone who wears number 10 is automatically a boss. And there's 2 exceptions to this rule. Mitch Trubisky, all right, and Eli Manning. And Eli Manning's got 2 rings, okay? So you really can't be that bad if you wear number 10. It's an ongoing joke that we have. But in all seriousness, what did you think about him? And what did you think about the other Mariners prospect who made his debut this week, Logan Gilbert?
Yeah, Gilbert was solid. I think he threw like 4 1/3 innings against the Indians.
Yeah, he was okay his first start.
He was okay. I mean, pitchers I feel like is a little more of like an adjustment depending on what it is. Especially if you're being held to like a pitch count of like 80 pitches, you're not gonna go that deep. You're gonna pitch like 4 innings max, like exactly what he did. Kelenik, he just looks like a tank up there. He looks like Juan Soto. Like it's just. I'm sorry, but when he steps in the box, it looks exactly the same. He crushed all 3 extra base hits he had on Friday night game.
Yeah, I think it was Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night game. He crushed them all. And he looked so comfortable and confident up there. And then Saturday he went out there and was 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Took another 0 for 5 against Bieber today. Didn't strike out today though. But it's not going to be one of those like come up and start mashing homers every single second. And it looked like it was going to be like that after a second game.
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, it's been 4 games, so like it's definitely gonna be an adjustment period for him too. But I mean, he looks confident and comfortable up there. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said last week, for Mets fans, our only hope is that this guy turns out to be just like good and not like amazing. Like Justin Upton is supposed to save the Diamondbacks, and he just has been like under the radar, like just good his whole career, but they thought he was going to be like the first, Mike Trout, and he wasn't. That's what we need. That's what we need right there. Like, just be Justin Upton. Hit like 350 to 400 career home runs. No one will ever talk about you because you were never like Babe Ruth good. Like, we'll be fine. Fine.
Exactly.
And of course, it comes on a day where the Mets are out here doing what I hate, which is pitching Edwin Diaz in a game they're down by like 7 runs in. Like, I can't stand it.
Well, at least he didn't blow the save that day. Imagine if he blown the save
the same
and then
day.
Kelenik came out there and hit and went 3 for 5.
That would have been so bad.
I would have cried.
But I actually liked what Gilbert did because he's got like 4 pretty decent pitches. I know he didn't like do that well, but like they got some good stuff. They have a lot of young guys.
He only gave up a handful of runs too.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
Like J.P. Crawford's finally up. I mean, well, he's been up, but like he's been there. You got
He
Kyle Lewis, who is the first pick in the draft. You got Kelenik. You got Gilbert. You got Mitch Haniger, who is not young anymore, but like they stole him from Arizona. Like that was a great trade for them. Like they have dudes.
Yeah. Like Dylan Moore's another guy who's like supposed to be solid. He's hitting like 140.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, offense around the league has been down.
I know.
So a guy like him who should be hitting like 260, 270, and like out there stealing 30+ bags is struggling to get on base.
Yeah.
I wonder if those dead balls are starting to get into effect. But
do you think the Mariners are gonna turn into like the Blue Jays, like 2.0, where they just got like mad young talent like everywhere?
Yeah, because they still got another outfielder who's like 20, who's like he's I think he's 2 spots higher in the rankings than Kelenik. I forgot his name. It's not Jason Dominguez. That's the Yankees guy.
Yeah. We can check the pipeline there.
Yeah, we'll check the pipeline.
I kind of like where the Mariners are going, especially in the American League West, where like eventually the Astros, like those guys are getting older. They're gonna fall off a little bit. The A's, I mean, I don't know how they do it every year, but okay. The Angels, they're still bad. And
yeah, exactly.
Who's the other team in that division? Astros, A's, Angels, Mariners. There's someone I'm forgetting. I'm having like a big brain fart right now. Oh,
Texas.
yeah, they suck too. So that's what I mean. So like they got no competition aside from Oakland. That's how irrelevant Texas is. I completely forgot they were a major league team.
6-game losing streak. I don't blame you.
No, I know. David Dahl though hit a home run before.
Yeah,
yesterday.
He's hitting like 211.
Yeah, he's not doing too well.
But he did hit a homer today. I mean, that whole team is just like Nick Solak.
Solak's good.
The GOAT Adolis Garcia.
Yeah, where did that guy come from?
No idea.
No idea.
I saw a lot of like Yahoo hit pieces, like fantasy hit pieces about him saying like he's not the real deal. If you picked him up, like he's gonna fall off a cliff. If you didn't pick him up yet, it's too late because he's not gonna play well anymore. Which I don't think will happen because he looks legit. So they have another guy too. It's like a second baseman.
Garcia's like Akil Baddoo, where it's like, where did you come from and why are you good?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like very strange. But yeah, so I like talking about the Blue Jays, right? Vlad Guerrero is finally having his breakout season this year.
Yep.
He must have known I own him in fantasy baseball in every league I play in. So let's give you some stats real quick on Vlad Guerrero here. So .308 batting average, 27 runs, 10 homers, 28 RBIs, and a stolen base. He's got an OPS over 1,000, and he's drawn the 5th most walks in baseball. So what can you... Has the Vlad we've been waiting for finally arrived, do you think? And he's here to stay?
Yeah. Nobody knows how to pitch to him.
Not right now, anything they don't.
Anything in the strike zone, he's mashing. Fastballs, breaking balls, doesn't really matter. If you throw him something in the zone, he's just crushing it. And drawing the 5th most walks shows you he's not chasing either.
Yeah, that was a problem for him. He was chasing a lot.
He was chasing everything, and that's why he was hitting like 240 before. He wasn't getting on base at all.
Yeah.
That's why I thought that plate discipline hadn't been shown yet, and that's why I thought he was going to be another guy who's going to hit 230 again like he has been, but hit like 25, 30 homers.
Yeah.
He's proven me wrong. He's going to go out there and hit 330, win an MVP, and hit like 45 plus bombs.
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy. Because he's actually on pace to do that. So, that would be very impressive. For the Blue Jays, I think that's huge for them. Because, Bichette's been getting all the hype, and Bichette's obviously still really good. But, if Vlad turns into what he was supposed to turn into, and then Bichette's your 2, and some combination of, Teoscar Hernandez, Grichuk, Simeon, and Biggio take turns being your 3 through 5 or whatever, in terms of good players... Robbie Ray suddenly knows how to throw strikes and is not walking everyone on the planet. All right.
Steven Matz has been half decent.
Yeah, that's a lot for him.
Yeah.
That's a lot for him. He's terrible,
especially
that guy.
After he was great for the first 4 starts, and then he remembered who he was and came back down. But, I mean, for him and Robbie Ray both pitching around the 4 ERA and going 6 innings plus every game.
That's all they need.
All they need.
Yeah.
All they need.
Like I say, we said in our previews, they're just built around scoring a lot of runs.
Exactly.
And that's why I took them to win the American League East as my sleeper pick. But
yeah.
Listen, if Boston ever decides to stop being amazing, I actually have a chance at that.
Yeah. Well, Boston's another team we talked about that was just revolving around hitting, and that offense has been insane between JD Martinez, Devers, Bogarts, those big 3. Dahlbeck's starting to come around too. The guy who I think he led spring training in homers. He hit the 2-homer game the other night. He's got 4 on the season now, which is, not what you expect from a big power hitting first baseman like him.
It's just crazy where if you take the Blue Jays guys, the Red Sox guys, the Yankees guys, and the Rays guys, if you take all of their best players, aside from Garrett Cole, everyone's a hitter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's insane. That entire division is just pure offense.
It's crazy. I mean, the Yankees have Cole and Chapman, but other than that, it's just hitting everywhere.
I mean, Glasnow.
Yeah, Glasnow's good too. I like him. He was my AL Cy Young pick, so.
That's right. Yeah. And he was throwing a perfect game against the Mets. I really thought going into that game, I was like, they're gonna get no hit by Glasnow, and it looked like it was gonna happen, and they woke up and then they blew the game anyway. But at the beginning of the week, the Blue Jays were in 4th place, I believe, and shot up all the way up to 2nd right now.
Well, like we said before we started recording, that division is tight.
Yeah.
From top to bottom.
Yep.
Even the Orioles are giving the Yankees all they can handle this weekend.
Yeah.
They're competitive.
Orioles put up 10 runs against them this morning, this afternoon, whatever.
I saw that was the first time they've done that against the Yankees in 3.5 years or something like that. Keep in mind they play each other 18 times a season. So
yeah, and every time they play each other, Gleyber Torres decides to be good, and it's
he's out on the COVID list.
Yep.
Yeah, so Judge just plays.
That whole COVID situation with the Yankees is crazy.
I know.
But I mean, I think the Padres are another team that's all messed up. I mean, there's a lot of injuries going around the league, and it's reminded me about the NBA and stuff. It's if you look at the NBA with their extended, it was a shortened season in terms of games, but the amount of times they played for, with the break in between and the bubble, they played. I think the season was almost 10 months.
They had a lot less time to recover. Yes.
Yeah, they had no time to recover. Yeah, even though baseball had their full time to recover, they only played 60 games last year. Now you're seeing pitchers, for the most part, their arms are super rested because they barely threw last year. Where coming into the season, most people were scared, like, oh, they didn't throw a lot last year. That means they're gonna get tired quick this year, which really hasn't been the case.
So that might
On the
come
other
back to
side,
bite them at the
it
end of
might
the
come back.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a long season, so we gotta wait and see. But hitters all over the league, a lot of stuff you can't avoid. Getting hit in the wrist, getting hit in the hand when you're up there hitting. But just a lot of hamstring pulls, a lot of quad pulls, a
like
lot of
soft
calf
tissue
pulls.
stuff.
Yeah.
I know. Listen, speaking of soft tissue things, our little last topic here before we give you some fantasy nuggets and some stuff for Beat the Streak. Mike Soroka having exploratory surgery on his Achilles. I actually missed this during the week because I've been running around like my chicken without a head. But I just saw before we started recording. This is not good for the Braves or him. And I'll tell you why. So obviously he's their best pitcher. And they needed him back. And we actually thought going into it that he was going to be back. Obviously this is before the season.
He threw spring training.
Yeah. We thought he was ready to go.
Now
the fact that they don't know what's wrong with him after he had a setback or discomfort. This could be something that Achilles is something you want to mess with. Because it's not like ACLs. If you're a football fan, guy tears his ACL, yeah, we'll see him next year. He'll be fine. Achilles, not good for any sport because it really limits your explosiveness. Now, yeah, he's a pitcher, so he doesn't have to run or anything, but still,
that's his driving leg.
That's what I was gonna say. I know. So that could come back to, and he's not a hard thrower to begin with.
No.
So that could come back to bite him. If he's out for an extended period of time, do you think the Braves are gonna have to make a trade for a pitcher?
100%.
Okay.
I mean, they had Cole Hamels last year, but when they had him, by the time the season started, he got hurt and he threw 2 innings at the end of the season. I don't know if they're gonna have to make a trade, if they're gonna go look at the free agent market first and try to pick someone up. But right now, the National League East, there are 3 teams that are just riddled with injuries. It's the Mets, the Phillies, and the Braves. They all have about 10 to 15 injuries each. Of main players. I'm not gonna go through each and every one because it's a very, very long
You'll
list.
Be here
but
all day.
yeah, it'll be all day. So I think that's gonna be an interesting series starting tomorrow with the Mets and the Braves. Phillies just got washed by the Blue Jays. They look terrible out there.
The Blue Jays have been doing that to everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're only 3 games above 500 or whatever.
I know.
Or I think maybe 5 now, but still, they have been. They just go out there and just crush the ball against everyone. But yeah, that Mets Braves series is gonna be scary to watch, especially since Atlanta started to come around with the bats.
Yeah.
If you want to the Braves have scored 187 runs so far. The Mets have scored 119.
Yeah.
That's it's going to be bad.
It's going to be real bad.
It's going to be. I mean, they got Taijuan Walker going out there tomorrow, but then you throw out David Peterson, and God, I never want to see Joey Lucchese's face in the major leagues again.
It's funny how we hated Steven Matz, got rid of him, and I know. I wish we had Steven Matz back. Lucchese's so bad.
But yeah, and besides those 3 teams that are hurt, the Nationals are not good, and the Marlins are not good. They're kind of sneaky. But without Sixto, without Starling Marte, they're not good.
So, I agree, but it is time for us to move on to our fantasy segment here.
Yep.
But before we do that, since we're talking about people that have been bad, just something to monitor for next week's podcast episode. Luis Castillo has been dreadful for the Reds.
Yeah.
He's got a 7.71 ERA and a WHIP close to 2. So just wanted to mention that. Me and Keith will monitor that for next week's pod. Shout out Saquon Smith right there because Castillo is giving me and him agita every time he pitches. This guy's been horrendous. But just throwing that out there. So Keith, we're gonna play Who's Your Randy. So who's your random fantasy waiver ad this week? By the way, Randy Arozarena crushed a couple of home runs this week, which is awesome. So who's your
Yep.
random guy that you're adding, and why are you picking him up?
I'm gonna go with Cardinals outfielder Tyler O'Neill. So he's a solid outfielder, but he's hitting for a good amount of power this year. He's got 8 home runs, only 3 doubles, but who cares? Slugging percentage of 520. On base, he's not an on base guy. He's one of the 3 true outcome guys where he's just gonna hit a home run or strike out. Like if you look at his last 5 games, against Milwaukee, 1 for 3 with a homer and a strikeout. The next game, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. The next game, 2 for 4 with a homer. Then he went 1 for 3, and today he's 1 for 2. Sunday Night Baseball. But yeah, I mean, 21st ranked outfielder. Um, from what I see right here. So I mean, if you guys have guys that are either dead with hamstring injuries, because there's a lot of those going around the league, especially in the outfield, or if you're still holding on to Tommy Pham for some reason, who's hitting like 180 still, it's time to make a switch.
It's time to make a switch, and obviously I fully agree because I wrote about Mr. O'Neill here 2 weeks ago, so he's a little ahead on the curve there, but that's okay. That's what I get paid the big bucks for, quote unquote. All right, so my guy is going to be Robbie Grossman. So if you can't find O'Neill and you need potentially another fill-in your utility spot or somewhere else on your team, Robbie Grossman can do that. He's batting .381 over his past 7 games. OPS well over 1,000. He's got a home run in the past week, 2 triples, so he offers a little bit of speed. So if you play categories and triples as a category, you might want to scoop this guy up because he does offer speed. And he also has 7 stolen bases on the year. So he could help you in a variety of different categories right now. So I would ride him while he's hot. Obviously, the lineup around him is not great, but that's okay because he's kind of producing by himself right now. So between me and Keith, those are 2 solid options to help you out kind of at the end of your roster. Guys that are just hot right now between Tyler O'Neill and Robbie Grossman.
Oh, yeah.
So, Keith, what's your series of the week now that we got our 2 fantasy nuggets out of the way?
So, this might be a little bit of a surprising one, but Giants and Reds are looking kind of exciting to me. I mean, Giants are in first place in mid-May. I don't think a lot of people saw that at all.
No.
Kind of like the Red Sox being in first place, and Giants pitching has been an insane surprise. Alex Wood has been ridiculous. Cueto's been solid. Hasn't been as good since he's come back from that lat injury, but Kevin Gausman and Anthony DeSclafani have been pitching to an ERA of about like 2.5.
DeSclafani's been good.
Both of them really, really good. So that'll be fun to see that good pitching go up against that insane Reds offense. 4-game series starting Monday, so that'll be good to watch.
Yeah, and we can watch Luis Castillo, who I highlighted before and totally forgot you took that series. So there we go. That works out.
Let's see what day he's pitching.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. All right, there we go.
I know because he's on my fantasy team. He's gonna put up negative points in my other league again.
Castillo against DeSclafani. That's gonna be
ex-Red Anthony DeSclafani.
Ex-Red. I forgot about that.
Okay, my series. I like your series. I was thinking about picking that, but you had first pick. I'm gonna take Rays Jays. And if you listen to me and Keith every week, you're probably like, "Yo, this dude is obsessed with the Blue Jays." I am. All right. I love watching them play because all they do is crank home runs. And like I've said before, if I'm gonna watch a team that's not the Mets, I can't be in this 2-1 snooze fest, all right? I'm going to need some action. So, and the Rays and Jays are both obviously really good teams, top to bottom, and they're built, like, very differently. So every time I get to see something like that, I always like to tune in because you really get to see, like, 2 completely different baseball philosophies. I'm a big strategy guy, so that's what I'm looking forward to this week.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting series, too. And that's also another division. That's a great division matchup where, I mean, first place is within 2 games. That's a weekend series, right? So maybe there's a chance division could be a little spread out by then. The chance they could all be tied for first place come Friday when that series starts. So
That's
that'll
actually
be
a
a
good
lot of fun to
point.
watch.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Good point, Keith. That's why we have you around here.
Here we
All
go.
right. So my Beat the Street pick for Monday, May 17th, is Mitch Haniger against Casey Mize. He has never faced Casey Mize in his career, but I can tell you exactly why I took him. 1, I love Mitch Haniger. 2, Mitch Haniger is like a pretty good hitter overall. He's been good so far this year. 3, Casey Mize has been terrible. And 4, the Tigers as a team are terrible. So even if Casey Mize walks him the first 5 times he gets up there, he'll still have a chance to hit off that terrible bullpen, aside from Gregory Soto, who's good. So that's what I'm going with, Mitch Haniger, because I can't just say Nick Castellanos every single day, so Mitch Haniger it is.
It's a solid pick. I'm going to go with Justin Turner against Madison Bumgarner tomorrow. He's owned them. He hits like 320 against them. Sure, he's got a bunch of extra base hits. I didn't really look too far into what kind of hits they were, because all that matters is just hit.
Yep.
All we need to hit. I don't care if it hits off of Bumgarner's like left quad and rolls into the first base dugout.
A hit's a hit.
A hit's a hit. Bonus pick though, Xander Bogaerts against Steven Matz.
On Thursday, you said,
On
right?
Thursday, yeah. On Thursday. But that just reminded me that the Blue Jays and Red Sox, I think this is a 4-game series starting tomorrow.
I agree. Yes.
Oh, I mean, if the Blue Jays sweep that,
they need to sweep that.
They need to sweep that because they've been tied for first place, and that'd be completely flip the division. That'd be insane.
That would be insane. And just for the record, people, me and Keith both hit on our Beat the Street picks last week. So right now, like, we're looking hot. We're looking hot. It's only been 1 week, but we both took 2 guys just for fun last week, and all 4 guys got a hit. So we're looking good. So we will monitor Mitch Haniger, Justin Turner, and Xander Bogaerts this week. You're probably like, well, Tim only gave 1 this week, and Keith kind of gave 2. Well, yeah, listen. You take Nick Castellanos every day. It doesn't matter who. Unless it's like Jacob deGrom, you take Nick Castellanos every day. This guy's a machine. But in all honesty, if you just take anyone on the Reds, because like their whole offense is good right now, except for like 2 people. Like even Senzel is out here like pretending he's good again. Like just take anyone on the Reds and you should be in good shape.
You're fine. They have like 10 hits every single game.
It's incredible.
So one of them is gonna be bound to be the guy you pick.
Yeah. So that's kind of what me and Keith got for today. We will be back next week. But quick reminders: 1, subscribe to the channel. 2, Spotify and Apple people, rate, review, follow, subscribe, etc. Share with your friends. Check out the website, beakbrands.com. Go on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow at Beak Brands. You can communicate with me and Keith. I am at Tim Ferdinand. He's at Keith Hernandez with 2 Z's on Instagram. We are more than happy to interact with you. So that's kind of what we got. But until then, I guess we'll be back sometime next week, Keith.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir is right.